It has been a year since the lockdown was implemented, and the effects of COVID-19 on businesses in the Philippines are drastically being felt. With several establishments being forced to halt and close down, the Philippine economy could possibly reach its verge of falling down if the pandemic is not properly controlled.
1,022 workers have officially lost
The
their
economy of
jobs.
the country continues to decline as the gross domestic product decreased to 4.2%, making it to be the fifth quarter of declines in the economy. This reflects how the COVID-19 situation in the country continues to shrink. According to the study of COVID-19 impacts on micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises under the lockdown conducted by Shigehiro Shinosaki and Lakshman N. Rao, the Economic Research and Regional Cooperation Department of the Asian Development Bank, 73.1% of MSMEs were forced to shut down their business a few weeks after the COVID-19 outbreak and the lockdown measures implemented. Now, out of all the businesses that were forced to shut down, a small cafe chose to pursue and cater to the needs and wants of an individual, namely Cafe Guild. With its owner who always believe in turning negative things into something that is positive, as they see challenges as opportunities.
Opening in the middle of the pandemic and the lockdown has definitely shaped the way we do things and run the business. Deciding on opening the business last year in the middle of the pandemic was no easy feat. We went back and forth weighing the pros and cons several times. And one of the pros was that while several businesses were closing down, it gave the saturated market some breather and opened up doors for small players like us. We know it's a big risk, but as a business person, we wanted to grab the opportunity and take advantage of the situation. And then one of the most obvious cons though is that there are more uncertain times ahead, and we would just rely mostly on business forecasts and government health briefings, and we just try to keep ourselves updated.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, businesses and employer can play a key role in preventing and slowing the spread of SARS-CoV-2 within the workplace.
Well, as a business operating during the pandemic, we of course would follow regular updates from our government. And then we also follow the local government unit guidelines, and then we also follow every briefing from our health department and their guidelines. Also, we try to keep ourselves updated with the international health community. We would also have regular consultations with health professionals on how we can manage and effectively adhere to current safety guidelines. And then to assure the safety of our customers, we have implemented different health and safety protocols that they should follow while dining inside the cafe. So some of them are the following. We first would get we're very strict actually with getting the temperature before they enter the cafe. And then second, we have them accomplish our health declaration form, which is available contactless via our QR code. And we do this while they are seated so they can accomplish it comfortably. And then third, we try to as much follow proper social distancing. And then we also try to maintain a well-ventilated space indoor and outdoor and provide them with a cozy alfresco dining option on our courtyard. We also provide them with disposable utensils individually packed for each customer inside a brown paper bag, and then later on the brown paper bag serves as a pack where they can place their face mask while they are eating. And then for customers who prefer silver utensils and cutlery, every piece of utensil that we serve them is sterilized on a glass of hot water. And lastly, we provide them with the cashless payment options available with our partners.
Associated with the customer safety health protocols is the involvement of Cafe Guild's employees in following the same implemented rules inside the establishment, since they are also considered as someone who can make or break one's business. Some companies are also facing challenges in the workforce regarding its employees about its productivity, loyalty, and retention.
Well, we always try to remind our staff that we must act in accordance to this set of guidelines for us to be able to keep the business in operation. Because we also try to instill in them that executing this along with our mindful service is a way of life already, which we should develop because it's part of the new normal in safe dining.
With this, the cafe tries to have a scheduled rapid testing, check employee temperature before their shift starts, provide essential vitamins and supplements to the employees, encourage proper hand washing techniques, implement an alternate shift schedule for the staff, conduct proper sterilizing of all cooking and dining utensils, disinfect and sanitize cafe surfaces, prohibit indoor dining and doors are kept open at all times for the safety of the staff, place air purifier around the cafe, constantly disinfect restrooms, and conduct regular UV light sterilization. The mentioned guidelines of health and safety practices is surely a rigorous process to follow. Fortunately, as per the owner, no negative feedback was brought to their attention in implementing these rules, and they believe that it's safe to say that most Filipinos in general are law-abiding citizens.
We comply with this set of guidelines in place simply because we cannot afford to risk anyone's health, whether our staff or our customers. We do this for everyone. So we also see a sort of responsibility to the families that each of us come home to every after our shift. As people in the food and service industry, face-to-face contact is necessary, which means our health is always at risk and we cannot risk our families as well. So staying healthy and following these guidelines is a must for each and every one of us.
Eliza Lorenzo is the bar manager of Cafe Guild, who is from Sampaloc, Manila.
In these trying times, a lot of people are losing their jobs and are having a hard time coping up and providing for their essential needs. Despite the danger imposed by the virus, we are thankful to our bosses for giving us an opportunity to continue working and earning. Above all, for providing us with a safe working space and giving us more than the usual health provisions.
In line with the IATF guidelines, safety measures are required to monitor and prevent the spread of the virus. However, an individual still plays a vital part in implementing such protocols, for without its participation, any effort will be futile or useless.
Actually, as most studies we have read, it would take several years before we completely eradicate the virus. Whether it's COVID-19 or any other type of disease, as a food establishment, we would like to maintain the safest dining and provide the safest dining environment for our staff and all our customers. And nothing is predictable but change. And as a business, we would like to be able to adapt to whatever lies ahead.
Given the situation and assuming it has finally come to an end, would Cafe Guild retain its practices and preventive measures?
For the DOT, our goal is not only to adapt to the new normal, but to achieve a better normal. We in the Department of Tourism have made it our mission during this pandemic to do all we can to ensure public health and safety. We have come a long way since the darkest days of the pandemic, but this fight is far from over. From the start of this pandemic, I have repeatedly stated that we are all in this together, as tourism is everybody's business. As such, the Department of Tourism, the national and local government, our tourism stakeholders from the private sector, and local communities must work together. We must continue to work closely together if we aim to achieve an inclusive, more sustainable, and resilient tourism industry.
The pandemic outbreak had caused so much damage to everyone's lives, as well as different establishments including Cafe Guild. Some remained consistent in delivering their services, but some businesses had to adjust and start introducing work-from-home arrangements or skeletal work schedules. With such changes in the industry, we cannot deny the fact that everything cannot go back to normal yet due to the pandemic. But, as Martin Luther King said, we must accept finite disappointment but never lose infinite hope. Surely, every individual worries about the future. When will it end? Will it ever end? How many years? How long will it take? One can never know what tomorrow brings. However, as change is constant, are you ready to embrace such change? Are you ready to take part until the tourism and hospitality industry recovers? Until the whole world recovers.